I like listening to podcasts and audiobooks, and whenever I have some epiphany or hear something that I find important, I note it down in my notes app, and I set a weekly or sometimes daily reminder to be regularly reminded of it. But my reminder has been full for a while, so I get too many notifications. I just swipe them away. I don't even read them because there are too many, and I still want to be reminded of this learning, so I decided to put the most important one in a video. Although it was hard for me to find the most important one, so I'll probably make a few videos about it. I also, another way I thought of like saving or being reminded of everything I learned is I integrated my notes into my last painting collection. But I don't have walls, so that doesn't help. When we recognize something that somebody says as true or a new learning, we actually already know it from experience, but we maybe also said something similar ourselves. Otherwise, if we didn't already know it from experience, it would just enter one ear and come out the other. We wouldn't even notice it. So we find our own thoughts to be much more impressive when someone else says them, especially if they say them in a more eloquent and beautiful way. That's something Ralph Waldo Emerson said, something like that in his essay Self-Reliance, that was written almost 200 years ago. He said, "In every work of genius, we recognize our own rejected thoughts. They come back to us with some certain alienated majesty." So, yeah, some of these insights may overlap, but never mind. I didn't write who said what and where I heard what, and some of them definitely come from Naval Ravikant, because I've been watching a lot of his interviews, or listening, not watching, and he's one of my favorite type of people, entrepreneur / philosopher. Life without balls is no life. When you know you're destined for something more, but you don't have the courage to pursue it, you will be critical of those who do, and you will resent them, and you don't want to be that person. You have to grow some balls to go after what you want. Because as some old philosopher said thousands of years ago, the secret of happiness is courage, and the secret of courage, no. He said the secret of happiness is freedom, and the secret to freedom is courage. Then I have a cliche, but this is true. The persistent and the patient succeed. Naval said it in a different way. He said, if you're easily derailed or discouraged, you won't succeed. This is connected with working on the right goals and thinking big, because if you choose just one or two things that you really want most, you will not get so easily derailed or discouraged. But what people tend to do is they choose to work on what they think they can get, not what they really want. So they're not motivated enough to keep going after it gets hard or boring. Even mild dehydration causes damage to cells and can cause neurological symptoms. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. So that's, again, you have to choose a few things that are most important to you and really try, which means trying 10 times at least. If you only try once, it's like you haven't tried. Like most of my friends and acquaintances that tried entrepreneurship only tried once, and they lost a bunch of money and never tried again. And that's just not a proper attempt. First attempt is just meant to be learning experience. First maybe 5 or 10 attempts. Only if you try 10 times, you can say that you really tried something. Success is being satisfied with your life. It's being able to get what you want, even if it sometimes takes a long time. But we should still be content and peaceful on our way there. But the thing is, we have to believe and feel that we are on the right path that is leading us towards where we want to be. We need to feel progress Tony Robbins said also something like that. So the worst thing would be to be passive and cowardly and discouraged and just not work towards what you really want, or working on something that is not what you really want, just because you think it's easier or possible to get. Authenticity keeps you healthy. Gabor Mate said that women tend to have more autoimmune disease because it's harder for women to be authentic. Women tend to be dutiful. Dutiful, not just beautiful. And dutiful is bad. Ask yourself often, am I self-abandoning or people-pleasing? You will please people best by pleasing yourself and doing what you really want to do. And those who love you will want you to do that. A victim always finds a victimizer. There's a quote by a homeless woman. I sometimes write down quotes by homeless people because they're also a good example of how not to think. And what they have in common is that they just don't take full responsibility for their life. So this homeless woman says, I didn't mess myself up. Other people messed me up. So giving some other people blame or responsibility, making yourself a victim, just gives them power and it takes it away from you. Whenever you say negative things about someone, people will attribute those traits to you. So talking negatively about others in general reflects negatively on you, especially if you don't talk negative about your family. That's another reason why it's so important to remove yourself from toxic environment or from anyone who you have anything negative to say about, and just surround yourself with people you have nothing negative to say about. The most useful thing you can be is yourself. That's again about authenticity. So if you're born a giraffe, you'll be happiest and most successful by trying to be the best giraffe you can be. You should not try to be a lion because that brings more status and it sounds better. So we cannot all be lions and we shouldn't. So we all have a seat in the theater of life that belongs to us, and we have to find that seat, and instead of fighting with others for the best, most prestigious seats. Dark chocolate should be eaten in moderation, only 30 grams a day. Freaking moderation. Because dark chocolate contains heavy metals, also oxalates in cacao. I didn't know that. Oxalates can cause kidney pain and stones.